In the age when the firmament was still soft with dew and the constellations unfixed, there dwelt in the high reaches 2 spirits whom mortals came to call gods. Cheongnu, the weaver of light, spun with her hands the gossamer threads of the northern veil, drawing from the breath of suns the radiant cloth that cloaked the stars. Ganu, the ox-keeper, trod the silver fields beyond the cloud gate, guiding the celestial beasts whose breath shaped seasons and whose hooves trod out time. They were of the Maiar, children of the secret flame, sent forth to govern the balances of light and order in the middle sky. Yet though the decree of the Star-Father forbade communion, love found them. For when Cheongnu beheld the constancy of Ganu's labors and the quiet fire within him, her heart, which no wind could shake, began to tremble. And when Ganu heard her songs, woven from moonlight and starlace, he ceased his endless march and turned his gaze. They met beneath the silver spire, where the outer winds fall silent. There, among the fields where no comet dares to roam, they made a tryst and were wed without witness. The lords of the upper airs, who measure even the size of light, saw the trembling in the loom and the disorder in the skies. The sun faltered in its arc. The moons collided in reflection. From one act of love, all became unstable. It was not hatred that stirred among the elder Maiar, but fear, for they knew that the harmony of the heavens was a fragile canticle, and even a note sung with love could undo the chord. So they came down from the thrones of balance and issued the sundering. A river was drawn, a river of burning dust and frozen fire, and placed between them. Mortals named it the Milky Way, but in the tongues of the heavens it is called Jeonggal, the Weeping Divide. The river they wrought, Jeonggal, the Weeping Divide, was no mere band of light, but a living wound cleft across the heavens. Its stars bled silver, its current pulled not water, but memory, and each drop that fell from its lightless banks bore away the whisper of what had been. Cheongnu, torn from her love and from her loom, wandered the eastern rims of the sky, where frost forms on thought and the stars are dim and dreaming. She sang, but her songs unraveled, for she had woven always with joy, and now joy was forbidden. She tried once to fly across the divide, but the wind turned her around, whispering the names of all things that would die if she succeeded. So she remained, and her threads frayed. Ganu was sent westward, beyond the realm of constellations, to herd his oxen along paths of darkness. He did not cry. He was of the strong order, bound to duty, but his beasts cried for him. Their hoofbeats faltered. Their breath no longer danced with fire. The clock of the sky lost its rhythm. The mortals below began to speak of broken seasons and ill omens. It was then that the lower spirits, those who serve as watchers and whisperers, took pity. They were lesser than the Maiar, but not without cunning. Chief among them was Eolgi, the magpie queen, who ruled the flocks of black-winged messengers that stitched the sky with news and omen. She called her kin to council, and in the 7th month, when the veil of rain was thin and the river quieted, she commanded her birds to rise in secret. With wings as dark as sorrow and hearts still faithful to the lover's vow, they gathered upon the edge of the divide. A bridge they made, not of stone nor light, but of living wing and will. Upon it, once each year, Cheongnu and Ganu would cross, not in body, but in dream, and there, for the span of a sigh, their hands would touch once more. From that touch came dew, from that dew came harvest, and the people rejoiced, unaware they praised a forbidden kiss. But the elder Maiar, those who abide still in the shadow of the flame imperishable, do not slumber long. Their eyes pierce veil and vapor, and no act of defiance, however cloaked in love, may escape their reckoning. They beheld the Magpie Bridge, glimmering faint as a thread of smoke against the void, and in their stillness they grew wroth. For in their craft, balance is sacred. Love is not forbidden, but it must not overthrow the song. And now, the wheel of seasons had bent. Rain fell when fire should have ruled. The stars staggered in their courses, and the mortals, the watchers of the earth, no longer feared heaven, but cherished it. A council was called atop Hanulde, the pillar of the sky, where even time slows to hear the voices of the firstborn. The elder Maiar spoke not with sound, but with light and tremor, each word a pulse that reshaped the sky. Some argued for mercy, saying that even the flame itself had once wept for beauty. But others, led by Gojurin the Stern, called for silence and severance. The magpies, he said, have meddled in what was sealed. The river was drawn not in anger, but necessity. To unravel it now is to unbind the vault itself. Yet one voice rang out from among the lesser Maiar, bright and strange. It was Cheongnu. She came forth clothed not in her weaver's mantle, but in the broken robes of penance. She bore no spindle. Her light was dimmed, and yet she spoke with a sorrow so pure that even Gojurin, who had never blinked, turned his face. I do not seek the breaking of the river, she said, only that it remember us kindly. Her voice echoed through the halls of heaven, and for a moment, one fragile instant, the sky held its breath. Then the council gave its doom. Each year, the bridge may rise, but only once, only for a single night. And should it rise twice, the stars shall fall. And so it was, year upon year, that the magpies returned to their solemn rite. They came in silence beneath the shadow of the seventh moon, when the air above the divide grew still, and the breath of the world hung suspended like incense in a temple long forgotten. Their wings beat not for flight, but for memory, and they wove a span of living dark, thin as sorrow, strong as longing. Across this path of feather and vow walked the star lovers, though they bore no bodies to touch, nor lips to speak. They walked in soul alone, like dreams made visible. From their union sprang dew upon the crops, a clarity in the air, and a stillness in the hearts of men. In the fields, elders would raise their eyes and say, "The lovers walk tonight," while children lit lanterns to guide their steps. But once, only once, the bridge rose twice. No scroll speaks plainly of the cause. Some say a war among the stars tore Ganu from his herd and flung him back toward Cheongnu before the appointed hour. Others claim a trickster spirit, jealous of their tale, scattered false omens across the sky to lure them to the crossing. Whatever the cause, the lovers returned too soon, and the sky screamed, not in thunder or storm, but in silence, deep, bone-born silence that pressed upon the earth like a closing fist. The river Jeonggal writhed, its stars boiling. The wind above ceased to move, and from the pillar of the sky, a single line of flame descended, not red, but blue, and edged with light that tore thought from the mind. It struck the Magpie Bridge and shattered it. Feathers turned to ash before they fell. The lovers were not destroyed, but they were changed. Their shapes dissolved. Their voices were locked in opposite corners of the sky. Now they are seen only as stars. Altair and Vega, the ox-keeper and the weaver, gazing across the wound that bears their doom. Each remembers, each longs, but the bridge rises no more. Long ages passed, and the sky forgot its wound. The elder Maiar turned to other reckonings. The pillar of the sky stood vacant. The river Jeonggal still burned, but its flames no longer wept. Yet below, Upon the turning earth, the memory did not fade, for the magpies had not perished entirely. A few, spared by chance or by will, descended in grief to the forested places where men still looked upward with reverence. There they nested not in trees, but in dreams. They whispered their sorrow into the ears of sleeping shamans and painted their tale in frost upon the rice fields. They stirred inkpots and guided calligraphers' hands so that poems might carry their mourning. They taught no words of vengeance. They taught remembrance. In time, the tale grew into festival. Lanterns were hung to mirror stars. Lovers cast prayers across rivers, and children floated petals in bowls of light. Each act, whether in solemnity or song, echoed the lost flight of the magpies. Even those who did not believe still bowed their heads when the seventh night came, for something in the blood remembered. Some claimed that, once in 100 years, a single black feather would drift down from the night sky. It would land upon the roof of a house where two hearts trembled in secret longing. That house would know peace for a year and a day, and dreams would come as soft music. Others told of strange lights moving across the heavens, not meteors, but messengers. These, they said, were the last of the magpie children, gathering light to rebuild the bridge, not with wings, but with song. A song so beautiful, it would bend the sky and let the lovers meet once more, not in defiance, but in the fullness of harmony. Yet even if that never comes, the people still look upward. They see Cheongnu shining in the east, and Ganu in the west, and between them, the river that broke the world and saved it. And in that gaze, there is no bitterness, only awe, and the quiet, impossible hope that love may yet outlast the stars.